Hey everyone, welcome to today's explainer. I'm honestly so thrilled to have you here. Look, if you're a focused learner and you're really looking to communicate with, crystal clear precision, you are in the exact right place. Today, I'm kind of going to be acting as your mentor because we're going to level up your English skills. We're taking the grammar tools you probably already use every single day and we're sharpening them. We're moving away from those basic everyday comparisons and stepping right into highly advanced professional grade language. Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to really think about your everyday communication for a second. When you're, say, delivering a huge presentation, or typing up a super important email, or even just trying to persuade someone of your point of view, is simply saying your idea is better or your product is faster actually good enough? Honestly? Usually the answer is no. Standard comparisons are great. They get the basic point across, but they completely lack nuance. They just don't tell the whole story. Well, today we're going to fix that. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. Think of these 5 sections as literal power-ups we're about to unlock. We've got beyond basic comparisons, showing the exact degree, the cause and effect, comparing actions and verbs, and finally, mastering parallel structure. Let's get right into it. Section 1, Beyond Basic Comparisons. Time to upgrade your basic toolkit. Moving right along to Section 2, Showing the exact degree. We'll call this one the microscope. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we categorize these modifier words to do basically all the heavy lifting for us. To get that advanced precision we talked about, we need a grammatical microscope to zoom in on the exact gap we're describing. Look at the big differences. We've got words like much, far, significantly, a lot, and the more casual way. Contrast that with the small differences, words like slightly, a bit, a little, and marginally. These are brilliant because they tell your listener exactly how much of a difference actually exists. Let's look at a real-world scenario. Imagine you're out apartment hunting. You walk into a new place, take one look around, and turn to your partner and say, "Wow, this apartment is significantly more expensive than our old one." You hear that? That strong emphasis on significantly? You're not just saying it costs more. By dropping in significantly, or, saying someone is far better at a sport, you are instantly communicating that the gap is massive. It literally changes the entire weight of your sentence. Now let's contrast that huge, dramatic difference with a really tiny slice of life. She arrived slightly later than expected. Notice how the exact degree completely changes the mood here? If she arrived significantly later, well, people might be pretty annoyed. But arriving slightly later, it's a tiny margin. It's totally fine, no big deal. And the exact same logic applies if you say, "This laptop is a bit heavier than the old model." By using a bit or slightly, you're reassuring your listener that yes, the difference is there, but it's really small. Section 3, the cause and effect. This is what we call the domino effect. Up until now, we've basically just looked at static comparisons. But what happens when an action in one part of your sentence actively triggers a change in another part? Enter the double comparative. This is such an elegant structure for showing cause and effect, and it operates almost exactly like a mathematical formula. You take the word the, add a comparative, and then for the second half of the sentence, you just repeat the pattern, the plus another comparative. This little formula is the absolute core engine of dynamic comparisons. So let's see this engine in action with a few punchy, everyday examples. The harder you work, the luckier you get. You can hear the rhythm there, right? Or how about, the older I grow, the less I care about other people's opinions. And then there's my absolute personal favorite, especially when I'm stuck in a frustrating commute. The sooner we leave, the better the traffic will be. In every single one of these cases, that first action directly causes the second outcome. It's just a beautifully concise way to express a complex, moving relationship. All right, section 4, comparing actions and verbs. Let's look at action sequences. We're shifting our focus away from comparing nouns or things and stepping right into how actions are actually performed. So the crucial point is understanding the standard rule versus the tricky little exceptions when modifying verbs. The golden rule is that since most adverbs end in ly, you generally just use more plus the adverb. Simple enough. But check out the exceptions. Words like fast, hard, late, and early, they don't end in ly. For these specific action words, you actually revert right back to the standard er endings. Let's actually illustrate these rules. Picture a little bit of sibling rivalry here. She drives more carefully than her brother. Since carefully ends in ly, we use more. And please, I'm begging you, permanently erase the word carefullier from your brain. It is literally never correct. Or imagine a high-stakes job interview. He spoke more fluently than the other candidates. Again, more fluently. But when we hit our exceptions, we go straight back to basics. He runs faster than me, or she works harder than anyone else. There's absolutely no more fast or more hard. It's just faster and harder.
And finally, Section 5, Mastering Parallel Structure. Welcome to the boss level, perfect balance.
Now this right here is the ultimate boss-level test of your new skills. Parallel structure is essentially the art of grammatical symmetry. It means ensuring both sides of the word than match up perfectly. Look at this incorrect example. Playing tennis is more fun than to play golf. On one side we have playing, which is a gerund, pitted against to play, an infinitive. It's totally, completely unbalanced. And this brilliantly illustrates why the correct version is so much better. Playing tennis is more fun than playing golf. Gerund on the left, gerund on the right. Perfect harmony. Let's look at just one more super common trap. The incorrect side here says, the weather in Spain is warmer than London. Now just pause and really think about the logic of that for a second. You are comparing the weather to an entire city. You are essentially arguing that a weather system is somehow warmer than millions of concrete buildings and streets. It makes absolutely zero logical sense. The correct parallel structure fixes this immediately. The weather in Spain is warmer than the weather in London. See, now we're properly comparing weather to weather. Makes much more sense, right?
Well, we have definitely unlocked some serious grammatical power-ups today, from the microscope of exact degrees to the domino effect of double comparatives, all the way up to the boss level of parallel structure. So I'm going to leave you with one final challenge. Which of these advanced structures will you use to upgrade your next conversation or your next big email or presentation? Seriously, don't just settle for saying things are better when you can be significantly more precise. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning out there.